Hello, 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 virtuous living. Come on in here. It is me, it is I, Natanya, aka Lady Rice. Come on in this kitchen, okay? Today we are gonna make a childhood favorite of mine, okay? I have not made this in 2.5 to 3 years, and I have been craving it lately, and I'm like, you know what? It's been a minute since I shot a video, and I'm gonna shoot a video for my Virtuous Living family. So come on in here, ladies. Let's learn how to make this shepherd's pie. All right, ladies, you guys know the rules. We got some old school Motown music going on. All that's in this pot here is some potatoes. So just maybe about 8 large potatoes. I've got maybe, I'm not sure how many I have, but maybe 8 large potatoes, something like that, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and turn these on. There we go. And I'm gonna take some chicken base and I'm gonna put that in the water with these potatoes, okay? Chicken base is gonna help flavor that water rather than using regular salts, just about that much. Rather than using salts, just plain white salt, that chicken base is gonna give it that, you know, that homemade, you know, good old soul food taste, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and start on this skillet. Shout out to my sister-in-law, Carla, who got me this skillet. Thank you so much, Carla. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with some avocado oil. Okay, a few tablespoons or a tablespoon or so of avocado oil. And I'm gonna go ahead and let this start sizzling. So normally shepherd's pie is made with lamb, aka the word shepherd's pie. I don't have any lamb at the moment, and I went to the meat market yesterday and they had turkey breast, ground turkey breast on sale. So that's what I'm gonna use today. I know some people when they make this and they use beef, I don't eat beef, but when they make it with beef, they call it cottage pie. So it's all essentially the same: meat, veggies, potatoes. That's really what it is. Whatever meat you have, I've seen people use leftover chicken, people have used ground chicken, people have used leftover pot roast. Whatever you have, use what you got, okay? I'm gonna use some ground turkey breast just because that's what was on sale this week. Okay, so here's my 2 pounds of ground turkey breast that we got from the meat market. Gonna let that sizzle there in the avocado oil. And if you don't have the exact seasonings that I'm gonna use today, you know, don't worry about it. Use, you know, the good old staples. Seasoning salt, black pepper, garlic, and onion is gonna work just fine. You don't have to have any fancy seasonings. This dish is meant to be simple, okay? There we go. All right, I'm gonna take a little bit of adobo because you guys know this is like one of my favorite seasonings ever. So I'm gonna take a little bit of adobo. I'm gonna use a little bit of my chicken seasoning by Mrs. Dash. Okay, I'm gonna use a little bit of my buttery steakhouse by Kinder's. Avocado oil and butter go together so well, and you guys know we used avocado oil in here. A little bit of oregano, because I love oregano. Gonna use, now normally in shepherd's pie, you're supposed to chop up some celery, but I don't feel like doing all that because I'm tired. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of celery salt. Don't worry, I know I'm using some other salt products. It's not gonna be too salty because we have some other things that need to go in here. A little bit of celery salt, a little bit of black pepper. Okay, a little bit of garlic. And a little bit of sazon, a little bit of onion powder, and mix all of this loveliness together, okay? Now, you're supposed to have some chopped up onions in here as well, and I'm gonna cheat because I don't feel like chopping up onions. I'm gonna go ahead and shout out to my aunt. Thank you, Auntie. She keeps me stocked on these minced toasted onions, and that's what I'm gonna use. You guys, these are so good. They just add that extra flavor. in your food. And it's just a hint. They're very, very potent, so you just need a little bit. I think I've used this on my show before. So just a little bit like that, and that's going to replace me chopping up an onion, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and let this meat cook, and I'll come back and show you what it's looking like. All right, everybody, so it's just been cooking for maybe about 2 or 3 more minutes. Now, remember, this is ground turkey breast, so turkey breast is a little bit dry, so I'm going to add a little bit more avocado oil, just because this is a drier type of meat that I'm using today. But if you're using beef or something, obviously, you know, don't add more. All right, everybody, so my meat is just about done. I barely see any pink left. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some vegetables. Oh, Lord, these vegetables are frozen. Okay. Now, shepherd's pie, I've seen people, growing up, my mom would use mixed vegetables like this, but I've seen people only use carrots, onions, and celery. I've seen people put a little bit of tomato in here. I think traditionally you're supposed to put a little bit of tomato in here, tomato paste. But hang on, guys, I'll be right back. Let me break up some of these vegetables. Okay, so I just added a little bit more veggies. And I'm going to go ahead and get these incorporated in the meat. And I'm just going to let these vegetables start to sweat. Since I can see that the meat is done now, I'm going to go ahead and take a taste. And I'm going to add some seasonings if I need some, okay? Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more of the Kinder's Buttery Steakhouse. You know, once the meat is done, and only when the meat is done, taste and adjust to your liking. And I'm going to do a little bit of garlic and a little bit of oregano. That's all we really needed to add. There's my oregano. We're just going to let these vegetables cook. Now, in the meantime, shepherd's pie, you need to make a little bit of a gravy. So I'm going to show you guys how to make that. And as you can see, some of these vegetables are, you know, producing water. You guys, I'm spilling stuff. Lord have mercy. You don't want all that water to cook out because you're going to need it. Give me 1 second. Okay, everyone. So we're going to make ourselves a little broth because shepherd's pie, you have to have a little bit of a gravy. So I got a little mug here. Just got, you know, some water. Okay. Take a little bit of chicken base because you don't want your flavor to be diluted. So I just want a little bit of chicken base. About that much. Put it in that water. Stir it up. Technically, you should use some warm water so that chicken base can dissolve a little bit better, but it'll be fine. Now, sometimes what I do, or what I would do, sometimes I take a little bit of beef base and chicken base together and mix that together, but I'm not doing that today. All right? Okay, next thing you do, you're going to take a little bit of flour, maybe about a tablespoon or so, and you're going to drizzle it on your turkey mixture, just a little bit. What this is going to do is going to help you get that thick gravy. So you take that flour. I should have got a bigger skillet because I'm making a mess here. But stir this around so that flour kind of cooks a little bit. You don't want that raw flour taste. Stir that around. Let it cook for a minute. It's already thickening up. Then you're going to go ahead and pour your gravy, your base on here. Okay? And that flour, if you guys can see, if I can get the camera in there, that flour is going to help it make a really pretty gravy. Okay? You don't want too much. You don't want a soupy shepherd's pie. You just want enough to where it's moist. Okay? So now that I can see that the flour has helped make that nice gravy, the meat is cooked, the vegetables are cooked, I'm going to go ahead and put this into an aluminum pan. Okay, so remember that I had 2 pounds of meat. If you only have 1 pound of meat, you don't have to have a big pan as I did. Okay? Look at that, guys. This is what it should look like. You can see that gravy. Can you guys tell on camera? That gravy is nice and thick in there from that flour. All right, I'm going to let this sit until our potatoes get done. Okay, everybody, so I drained the potatoes, and that's all I did was drain the potatoes off camera. I'm now going to take some unsalted butter. I'm going to take a whole stick. And before I mash my potatoes, I'm going to go ahead and let that butter get in there and start melting. I'm also going to go ahead and add some seasonings while that butter melts. We're going to go in with some adobo. Y'all, I put adobo on everything, y'all. I love it. Adobo, some buttery steakhouse seasoning. Same seasonings we put into the base of the pie. And then garlic. Not going to put any onion in the potatoes. And then I'm going to put chives, because growing up my grandma always put chives in mashed potatoes, and I love chives in my mashed potatoes. I don't have any fresh, and so I'm going to use some freeze-dried chives. I'm going to go ahead and chop those up, and I'm going to start mashing up my potatoes. Now, this is a huge no-no, but I'm going to do it anyway. The huge no-no is adding hot potatoes and then putting in cold milk. When you make mashed potatoes, chefs will tell you you're supposed to warm up your milk. I don't want to make any more dishes. As I stated before, I am sleepy and just want to get done cooking. So I'm going to do the chef no-no, but it's going to work out. I'm just going to take some whole milk, and I'm not going to add much because I like a thick potato. So just see how much I'm adding, that's all. And keep mashing this. That butter, those seasonings, it's all getting mashed together. Then I'm going to take a little bit of sour cream. Just a little bit of sour cream. That much. It's going to have the potato be nice and fluffy, and it's going to add a nice flavor. Okay? I'm going to keep mashing this up till it's all mashed. I'll be right back. Okay, ladies, so off camera, all I did was add a little bit more seasoning. I needed a little bit more of all the seasonings you saw me add a minute ago. So that's all I did off camera. Next, I'm going to do what's the secret to helping your crust be golden brown. Now, let me show you the consistency of the potatoes. See that? I like a thick mashed potato. See how my potatoes don't move? They're still good. They're nice and thick. That's how I like my potatoes. But you make them the way your family likes them. I love a thick potato. I'm actually going to add just a little bit more sour cream now that I'm stirring it up. But that's me. That's my preference. So just make the mashed potatoes to your family's liking. I'm going to make mine a little bit more creamy. Yeah, now. Like that. A little bit more whipped. Okay? Now, taste your potato, because you want to make sure that this is good. Okay? So taste your potato. There we go. That's better. I have 2 egg yolks. These are just the yolk. There is no heat on my potatoes right now. So make sure there's no heat when you do this, because you do not want your egg to cook. The egg yolk is going to help you get that pretty golden color when your shepherd's pie bakes. So you're going to go ahead, stir that yolk in. And now we're going to go ahead and put it all together. So here's the meat and the veggies. I'm going to go ahead and just start putting potato like this. So you can make sure you can have an even layer of potatoes in the dish. Y'all, I told you I was sleepy. I forgot to put the Parmesan in here. I'm going to go ahead and do it in the leftover potatoes that I have, and just let a little bit of this Parmesan. I only did maybe a good handful. I'm going to put that in there and let this melt. You're supposed to put a little bit of cheese in the potatoes, you guys. I told you I was tired. So now I'll just kind of put it in the middle so it'll all incorporate. But before you put it in the pan, please put your cheese in there. Sometimes I actually just leave the cheese out, which I guess I could have done, but I want cheese today. All right. So I got all my potatoes incorporated. This is what we do next. Easy. Smooth it out. Smooth it out like this. have some nice creamy potatoes all on top. Look at those seasonings in there, guys. You can see all the pretty seasonings. Oh, bringing back so many memories for me. Smooth all that out. Okay, y'all. So, got all the potatoes smoothed out. Next, you take your fork. Now, hopefully I can do this and you guys can see. You take your fork and you fluff. So you just make lines just like this. You can get all fancy and, you know, draw different things, you know, but this is all I do. Take a fork. It's gonna make some pretty lines. Okay, I'm gonna finish that and I'll be right back. Okay, ladies, so I have drew my lines, just fluffed up my potatoes a little bit. Next, all you do, I take a little bit of smoked paprika. You can use regular paprika, but I like smoked paprika because I like that little hint of flavor it gives. And just add a little bit on top. Just for that touch and that pretty color. Try to get it as even as possible. Okay, ladies, all right, so I let mine cook for about 20 minutes on 400, and this is what it looks like. Your top should be a little bit crispy. Inside is gonna be nice and juicy, but not runny. You do not want a runny shepherd's pie, but there you go. Quick and easy.